but we were streaming live
to
privately.
ourselves.
Oh,
That's great.
silly us. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are.
Happy
Hello.
Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day for
there we
those
are, right
of
there.
you in
Got it.
in the United States. I was just explaining on the private stream that Mother's Day in England is actually close to Easter and related to Easter. The day changes every year, as does Easter. And it has been celebrated in England since the 16th century. Back when domestics left their home to go work in the big houses, it was actually a religious holiday, in that it was to celebrate the Virgin Mary, the Mother, and it was believed that, or it was held that one should return to one's mother's church. Your mother church being the church where you were born and where your family resides. And then when you went away as your domestic or whatever, that would be called your daughter church. And so all year you might go to the daughter church, but once a year one returns to the mother church, which also then meant that families were reunited. And so domestics and everyone could come home and visit mother, the church and mother for the day. So a little little Mother's Day there. Here we're the Feel Better community, and we know one of the things that we know is that when we feel better, we deal better. Quite often, hopefully I can. Is that on my microphone?
Oh no, you're good.
Quite often, what we think will make us feel better is not actually what makes us feel better, and we can really get that messed up. So, getting to know ourselves, right? Getting to know what makes us feel better and how our mind works can really help us to be able to achieve the things that we want to achieve. And what we also know is that on this side of 55, both of us, this side, some of us further on that side of 55 than others, is that we really need to get out to know our minds and to know ourselves and be able to be discerning about it, right? And so it is possible for us to continue feeling good and come into our power, and that's what we're doing here. Indeed,
Power.
We work in and we work out. You see, got to do both. You've got to work in to work out, and you've got to work out to work in. It's a chicken and egg situation. And the mind, and we like to think of, we tend to, it seems that do I need to do this? Could I do this instead? We actually need to do lots of different things in order to deal with this life of ours. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what we're here to do, is to share the tools and things that we have used. And I've definitely had, like, the last 18 months, really had to put into practice a lot of the things that I've learned, not only externally, but about myself. So that's another thing that, quite often we're following someone else's path, right? We're following someone else's prescription. People are very prescriptive. This is what I did and this is what you should do. And the chances are you're not the same. You have to find your way. So we tend to prefer thinking of ourselves as not providing answers in as much as providing better questions for you to ask, and then you can come to your own answers.
Absolutely.
Kind of like the labyrinth. Walk the labyrinth's path, find your way. We'll share more of that as we go. Who's here? Anyone? I was curious. I got out the cards because I wanted to share the one from yesterday that I got.
Yeah, let's
but
share
then
that.
I automatically
you shuffled.
And
do we know which one it was?
Well, I was wondering, do we do this one or do we do that one?
Let's
I
do
do know
this
which
one.
one. I do know which one it was. I think.
Well, let's do
I think
this
it's
one.
interesting. Yeah. So, okay. So we're going to pull a card this morning.
Oops.
Radiant Threshold.
To the mic. Oh, there we go.
There we go. So that's the card. As I said, I was going to share the one from yesterday. This is the Radiant Threshold deck by Senta Schumacher. Fantastic name. All right, let's get to it. It's called the Hive. A honeycomb appears from darkness, illuminated from within. The golden promise of sweetness lies inside. But the pleasure of honey is the result of hard work of many bees traveling to many flowers over the entire span of spring and summer. Think about this the next time you wallop a big dollop of honey into your tea. This work is dedicated and ceaseless, each individual doing small, repetitive tasks, but the rewards are sweet. The Hive is the card of the collective. Hey. It is time to consider how you contribute to the whole. You have something to give to the greater good. We all have our personal life goals, and those shouldn't be ignored. But this card asks you to consider your contribution to the collective as well. Is there something greater than you to which you're contributing? Now's the time to focus on that, to work with others to build a greater world. In our individual lives, it can be easy to forget how we make the whole world greater, as an individual's life can feel small and repetitive. Remember, small actions by many people can change the world. The rewards are world-altering and sweet. Like the Dalai Lama says, if you think yourself too small to make a difference, try sleeping with a mosquito for the night, right? Small things do make big differences. Do you not yet have a greater goal to work towards? Well, then it's time to search your soul. What feels most important to you personally to achieve in your life? Now take that individual goal and broaden it. What community movement or ideal does the goal fit under? That will give you an idea of the broader purpose you wish to serve. Now, there can be a shadow side to the Hive. Be aware of becoming a drone, someone who's completely lost their individuality to the collective. It's also important to keep a critical eye on the goal you are serving. Beware of those that would abuse the collective for their own individual gain. Even if your task is repetitive and the goal not clearly in sight, your contribution is important, you are important, and you are never without worth. I think that's it's this smallness that we can often feel and not feel like it's enough, and yet there is no part greater than the whole. And I said to you earlier in the week, I bashed up my hands this week. I don't know what was going on. In one day, I had a paper cut straight down here. I knocked these two fingers, and then I was putting paper inside a box and cut down here. Now it's interesting because it's all small, tiny little things. And then I was talking to a friend whose wife is going through cancer treatments, and they themselves have some stuff. And we're talking about all of this, and that's big stuff, right? So we know when the big stuff's there, we kind of we deal with it in the way of it's big stuff. But these little things, it's the little things that often are really, really small, and yet they have quite a profound influence on how we feel and how we deal, right? That this tiny, stupid little cut right here, which is still a couple of days later, it's fine, but it's irritating. And the first night, my thumb, this one was really, and I sleep like that. Well, no, I couldn't do that. So I had to sleep with my hand up here, and then I can't sleep. My hand needs to be here, and it's up here, and I'm all off center, and I don't sleep anyway. And so anyway, made me think about in life, how many small niggly things we allow to irritate us. Like if you get a grain of sand in your shoe and it rubs, like small, but over time it'll rub. And that's like a lot of what life is doing to us. It's rubbing us up the wrong way, and irritating us in a very small way, but also it's very acute as we feel it. So today, as we go into our sit, to kind of have I can hear that, sorry. It's weird. I like hearing myself. Today, as we go into our sit, to have kind of a review of, anywhere, any of those little sticky parts that we seem to have inside, where we're irritated by something that's really quite small. Before we do that, we should have some coffee. Someone will probably say that it's bad luck to cheers with coffee, or we're going to have bad sex because we didn't look at each other, but as we did it. Do you think that's going to happen?
No. Because I would have
You're
to.
quite.
I would have to share in that belief, which, well, I don't.
No bad sex here.
No.
FYI. No. If you're wondering.
And we're talking about mindfulness and being on this side of 55. It's like, well, what's my mind say? Right?
What does your mind say?
Well, definitely, I don't feel like we're not going to have good sex based on a toast with coffee. I don't believe that one.
Well, I couldn't have got the topic round Saturday. You just never know. I was about to say you just never know what comes up in the live.
Yeah.
No, we're just cracking ourselves up here.
Stay around. You never know what will pop up. And alive.
Nothing like old men, are they?
That's creepy.
All right. Well, there you go.
Wow. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Yeah. I don't know what I've got going on here. I think my microphone came down. It looks like I'm like half dressed or something, but anyway.
You look great. And it sounds good.
It sounds good?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. There we go. All right. Well, I think we should start to come to our sit. So finding yourself in a comfortable seated position, or you might be lying down. Come into your comfortable position. Notice your awareness. Notice how you feel. Just take a nice deep breath and sit nice and upright, stacking your vertebrae on top of one another. Even if you've got your back, as we do against, say, the sofa, I'm still sitting up nice and tall. And I'm going to let my shoulders relax down away from my ears, and to lengthen the back of my neck. And just dip my chin down a little bit towards my chest. Soften the gaze. Close your eyes completely. Feel comfortable. Ah, here we are. Now, as you breathe in and breathe out, I just want you to say to yourself, breathing in, breathing out, inwardly. And I think we'll have one hand on the belly, and one hand on the heart. So that you can feel that breath that moves through us, creating a cycle, a wave, coming in, coming out, sustaining us, right? We need food. We need water. Let's say we even need sex. But the one thing we really need is breath. Because without that, we're not here anymore. Taking in that breath, breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the nose, feeling the body calm as it starts to rest on the breath. You're not trying to stop your thoughts. You're just trying to stop thinking so much about them. And when your thoughts do get far away from breathing in, breathing out, just gently bring your mind back and start repeating once again inwardly, breathing breathing in, breathing out. And if your mind is wandering off and you are bringing it back, then congratulations. You are in practice of mindfulness, because that is what it is. Being aware that you've gone away and bringing yourself back. So that the practice is exactly that. It involves getting away from ourselves and bringing ourselves back again and again and again and again. As the full moon in Mexico told us, as many times as it takes. Breathing in, breathing out. We're going to rest with that meditation, that mantra today during the meditation. I'm going to go silent. You're going to go silent. You're going to take in the ambient sounds around you, reminding yourself it doesn't have to be quiet on the outside for you to find quiet and peace on the inside. Let's go. Anchor yourself, breathing in, breathing out, bringing yourself back anytime you get away, as many times as it takes. Enjoy. Feel free to lower your hands, resting in one another. And keeping your eyes closed and your awareness within, just pull the shoulders. You can take one ear to the shoulder and the other side, chin to chest, and up. Rub the hands together. Bring the palms in. Just bow down to yourself, towards the palms. And then open up your palms into like a flower. We'll take a little smell that beautiful nectar of coming and meeting yourself, and then send it out to the world. I don't know what that is, but I like it. Open your eyes. Hey. Hey.
Hey. Hey.
Addie Sandra is in the house. Hi, Addie Sandra. How are you? How's that?
Great.
It's nice to have a quiet moment with yourself.
It absolutely is.
It's the first lesson of the labyrinth, is coming home to ourselves, and we have to know how to be quiet with ourselves if we are going to come home to ourselves, and if we are going to be able to hear the whispers of our souls. They can't come through all of the static that we create in our lives. So we do need a quiet spot, an anchor. And I was thinking about this, about how meditation and mindfulness are our anchors. And if you think about how a ship or a boat uses an anchor, it has it with it all the time, right? The anchor's there, but it's not using the anchor all the time, because that would mean it's not moving, right? But it knows when to anchor, when to put the anchor down, right? And it also knows how to bring it back up when it needs to move. And this is our practice. This is our practice of knowing when we need to, put our anchor down and when we need to pull it up. And so we gain our flexibility in getting anchor up and down and getting movement when we need it, and being able to sustain ourselves in stillness when we need that as well. So that's a big part of coming and sitting with yourself on Sunday.
Absolutely.
Did she say she had a bonfire with Deb last night? Is that what she says?
Yeah, I had a bonfire with Deb last night through Messenger.
That's lovely.
That's great.
That's awesome. How lovely. You both had a bonfire, or one of you had a bonfire? And both of you on live. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
that's cool.
That's awesome. Yeah. Are there anything else?
No,
Did you have a question this week?
I do, but yeah. Should we do a quick question and
You want to do a quick
answer?
question?
We kind of meditated, but it's fine.
That's awesome.
It's-
You guys
it's all
chat
good.
all the time.
Let's see. Can mindfulness help with fears?
Mindfulness. Well, yes. I mean, because obviously, fears are they're real but not true necessarily. So we can start to see how how we react to things, and also whether things are real, right?
Mhm.
Whether they are how real that they are. So I think that it just helps us know how we're kind of processing things in a way.
Yeah.
And I think as well, the other thing the other thing it can do is it helps us sit with ourselves. And so the thing when we're fearful quite often is we want to kind of get away from ourselves. We want to kind of get away from the thing, so we do other things. And so I think the ability to sit with discomfort is a big advantage of a cumulative practice. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen in one sit, for example, but it does happen when we cumulatively practice, have some regularity. Hadi Sundri and Deb have been friends for years. They've been in the community for years and years and years, and it's really awesome. I love that. So yeah, that's about it for today's sit. We're getting some things together. So and yesterday we did a big drop on the beach. So I'll be doing more labyrinth stuff as well. And yes, just stay tuned.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today, but most of all, thank you for taking the time for you. It's so easy to get distracted by all the shiny objects in life, and also to go to other things that we think make us feel better. But actually, if we really, really start to come home to ourselves, and if we can really, really actually be with ourselves, then we will find a place and peace that perhaps we've not felt before. I know for me, I feel a peace in my feet that I've never felt before. So may you also feel a peace in your feet. And I know I walk everywhere in my life with my feet. So if there's peace in my feet, it means there's, where I find myself, I can find a little peace in my feet. My feet.
Let's say, love you both. See you soon.
Peace to all.
Peace.
Exactly. With
you.
much love, and we will see you very, very soon.
Very soon.
Next Sunday, for sure, at noon.
Abso. That's my new word. Abso.
Abso.
Yeah, it's absolutely, but it's truncated.
I think that's probably just abs.
No.
Abs, baby. Abs. I don't need the extra.
Abso.
I don't need the extra syllable on there. I think abs.
Gives it like a.
No, abs, like so. Oh, darling, you missed. What are you doing now?
What?
Well, you can always catch the recording. Tune in earlier. We're talking about whether we had a little conversation as to whether cheersing with coffee and no eye contact would result in bad sex. I'm serious.
We say no.
We say no.
Cheers.
So cheers and cheers and cheers. And here's to lots of really good sex, let me tell you.
We'll test it out. We'll see. We'll let you know next week.
All right, darling, let's go then. Oh, my word. Yoga's a good thing to be doing. I was working out. I was almost a bit late because I was like, oh, my gosh. Everyone's laughing now. Like, bad sex from cheersing with coffee and no eye contact, let me tell you. There's more to bad sex than that. I tell you, that's what they say is causing it. Don't listen to him.
Yeah, right. No, that's not it.
Oh dear. Anyway, I'm all in there. I'm all thinking about some stuff now. Anyway, so we should go. It's Sunday afternoon. Have a little.
Indeed.
All right. Well.
Abso.
Abs. All right. Thank you. We love you. We will see you next week. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.
Bye.